changed our name. Originally we were called Jobs for a Future, and then we changed it to Homeboy Industries in 1992. Not every business venture worked, I'll be the first to admit it. Homeboy Plumbing really was not hugely successful. Who knew, you know? People didn't want gang members in their homes. I did not see that coming. And now nobody ever decides to do something like this. We evolved, we backed our way into becoming now the largest gang intervention, rehab, and reentry program on our planet Earth. 15,000 folks a year walk through our doors. As well, we started a thing called the Global Homeboy Network. Rather than become the McDonald's of gang intervention programs with over 5 billion gang members served, we decided to offer technical assistance. So we help cities start programs modeled on Homeboy. So we have 47 programs in the United States modeled on Homeboy and 11 programs outside the country. And we call it the Global Homeboy Network. We gather every August in Los Angeles. But 15,000 folks a year walk through our doors trying to find some hope to reimagine their lives. The centerpiece, of course, is our 18-month training program. A lot of gang members want to get in that because you get paid. And a part of it has case management, a lot of curricular offerings from anger management to grief and loss to parenting, you name it, substance abuse. We still have a school, case management, therapy. Everybody's in therapy. We have 5 paid therapists, but 47 volunteer therapists, including 2 psychiatrists. Free tattoo removal. No place on the planet Earth removes more tattoos than we do. We have 1 paid physician assistant, 40 volunteer doctors, designated clinic, 3 laser machines, I don't know how many thousands, 30,000 treatments a year or something. And it was all started because of a guy named Frank, who I'd never met before, and Frank wandered into my office 2 days out of Corcoran State Prison, and I'd never met him, and he's sitting in front of my desk, and tattooed on his forehead like a billboard, filling the entire space, and pardon my French here, it said, "Fuck the world." Filled the whole forehead, you know. And Frank looked at me and said, "You know, I am having a hard time finding a job." I said, "Well, you know, Frank, maybe we could put our heads together." And so naturally I hired him, and he bagged bread at our bakery for about 2 years, and I went in search of a dermatologist who had a laser machine. I found one at White Memorial Hospital, who chipped away at Frank's forehead and a few others. He donated 1 hour a month. And so subsequently, I had a waiting list of 3,000 gang members who wanted this same service, so we couldn't really stay with that arrangement. And so now we have our current arrangement. And parentheses, Frank is now a security guard at a movie studio in Hollywood, and there is no trace left of the angriest, stupidest thing he had ever done. Proving once and for all what Sister Helen Prejean always says, that everyone is a whole lot more than the worst things they've ever done. And so we have all our social enterprises, our training programs, solar panel installation training program. We have Homeboy Bakeries thriving, Homeboy Homegirl merchandise, where we sell our logo material online and in our store. Homeboy Silkscreen, which has been around for about 20 years, 22 years. And Homeboy Diner, which is the only place you can get food at our City Hall in Los Angeles. 2 venues at LAX International Airport. Farmers markets, we're in about 37 of those, where we sell our wares. Homeboy Grocery, which is we're in a supermarkets called Ralph's from Ventura County to San Diego County. We sell chips and salsas and cheese and guacamole, and we have a lunch truck, catering. I always forget, there are like 9. And Homegirl Cafe, where women with records, young ladies from rival gangs, waitresses with attitude will gladly take your order. It's kind of a who's who. If you go there, you'll run into famous people and movie stars and electeds. Always elected officials are there. Jim Carrey is kind of a regular. It's always a pandemonium when he shows up. And Jack Black, the actor. And we've had a lot of folks. With only 2 hours' notice, we had from the Secret Service, Vice President Joe Biden called and wanted to have lunch there. So we had motorcade and entourage and selfies galore. I was actually making my annual 8-day silent retreat, and I wasn't there. So when I got home, a homie named Louie was debriefing me. He said, while you were gone, we were visited by an MVP. Do you mean a VIP? That one, a VIP. Imagine, gee, here at Homeway Industries, we were visited by the Vice President of the United States, Mitt Romney. So we're thinking of adding a current affairs class to our curriculum. But most famously, Diane Keaton showed up for lunch once. She's a big movie star, Oscar winner, Annie Hall, Godfather movies. She's there with a regular guy who's there quite often, and her waitress this day is Glenda. And Glenda's a big girl, been there, done that, tattooed, been to prison, a felon, a parolee, gang member. She has no clue who Diane Keaton is, and so she's taking her order. Diane Keaton says, well, what do you recommend? And Glenda rattles off the 3 dishes that she particularly likes, and then Diane Keaton says, I'll have that second one. That one sounds really good. And then it's at that moment something dawns on Glenda. She looks at Diane Keaton, she says, wait a minute. I feel like I know you from somewhere. You know, like maybe we've met. And Diane Keaton decides to deflect it humbly, you know, oh gosh, I don't know, I suppose I have one of those faces, you know, that people think they've seen before. And then Glenda goes, no, now I know. We were locked up together. Yeah, you know, that just took my breath away. Don't believe we've had any further Diane Keaton sightings now. But suddenly kinship so quickly, Oscar-winning actress, attitudinal waitress, exactly what God had in mind. And again, how do we even know what's on God's mind? Well, you listen to Jesus talk to the gathered, and he says that you may be one. I suppose he could have been more self-referential, but he has no interest in that. It's not about him. It's about us. That you may be one. That's God's dream come true. All of us are called to be what Alice Miller, the late great child psychologist, called enlightened witnesses. People who, through your kindness and tenderness and focused, attentive love, return people to themselves. At Homeway Industries, we're kind of allergic to the notion of holding the bar up and asking gang members to measure up. All we want to do is show up, hold the mirror up, tell people the truth, knowing that your truth is my truth. My truth is a gang member's truth. It all happens to be the same truth, and here's the truth. You are exactly what God had in mind when God made you. And then you watch folks, particularly on the margins, as they become that truth, as they inhabit that truth. And no bullet can pierce it. No 4 prison walls can keep it out. And death can't touch it because it's huge. And so what you have to do is hold that mirror up, and like the Christmas carol, long lay the world in sin and error pining till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. Yeah, it's a song about Jesus. Yeah, it's a song about Christmas. How is it not your job description? You show up and the soul